Since the beginning of the industrial age, the planet has been warming. The Earth's average temperature is rising. Civil society in France and around the world has mobilized its governments to sign a bold climate agreement at COP21. An agreement to limit global warming by 2 degrees Celsius. More than that, it was necessary to make efforts to limit heating to 1.5 degrees Celsius. COP21, the UN climate conference with the participation of more than 170 countries, took place in Paris in December 2015 with the mission of drawing up and signing the agreement to limit greenhouse gas emissions. It is estimated that 45,000 participants took part in the Paris Le Bourget space. Delegates representing countries, observers, members of civil society and journalists. 20,000 people had access to the conference, and the others participated in debates and visiting exhibitions in an area dedicated to civil society. Addressing to the representatives of the UN member states, President François Hollande reaffirmed the need for an ambitious agreement.
Nous avons à faire le dernier pas, celui qui permet d'atteindre le but, le pas décisif. Le texte qui a été préparé est à la fois ambitieux et réaliste. Il concilie la responsabilité, et notamment celle des pays les plus riches, et en même temps la différenciation. Il fixe des mécanismes de révision. Vous allez faire un choix pour votre pays, un choix pour votre continent, mais un choix pour le monde.
Representatives from the Alliance for Responsible and Sustainable Societies attended COP21 following several meetings and organizing their own meetings to review their strategies.
To say, we have to develop the line of the stakeholders, stakeholder responsibilities. Let us see when we can do it.
Looking for a new communication strategy to build a new website and organize a well-structured database. Since COP20 in Lima, Peru in December 2014, the Alliance has been dedicated to the topic of responsibility on climate. In this period, the Alliance launched the Manifesto Lima to Paris on the need to adopt a universal declaration of human responsibilities.
And what I will bring in front of it, is the Charter of Responsibilities. This will be the basic.
Then a declaration, or is it?
It's a charter.
It's a charter then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you don't do, you don't have the resources. Result of that would add to that COP22.
For finance, for everything.
You were saying yesterday, you have beautifully written language, but who will really implement it?
During the COP21 period, Alliance members produced dialogues with a network partner in Africa about the path to COP22 that took place in Marrakesh, Morocco in 2016.
Et nous sommes ici avec le projet international Agence Youth Press Agency.
Allies of the Monde Pluriel organization also met at COP21 to attend conferences and workshops, continuing the conflict process. International Youth Conference, Let's Take Care of the Planet, started in Brazil in 2010. The young representatives of Europe drew up the Charter of Responsibilities Let's Take Care of Europe and presented it to leaders and authorities from European countries. Members of the Alliance also participated in the launch of the publication Climate Change, a Challenge for Humanity, 12 legal proposals for the Paris Climate Conference, with the support from the FPH Charles Leopold Mayer Foundation, an initiative of the Collège de France, Michel Delmas Marty.
Je pense que la déclaration universelle des responsabilités humaines, c'est une idée juste et nécessaire. Parce qu'il faut remonter au tout début de la déclaration universelle des droits de l'homme, qui dit que les hommes sont doués de conscience et de raison.
The Alliance has also opened new opportunities, bringing proposals for public policy responsibilities to governments in countries such as Brazil. Alliance representatives presented a concrete proposal for the C40 cities network and for the city of São Paulo. Members of the Alliance attended the meeting Cultivating Good Water of Itaipu, Binational Brazil and Paraguay, during the presentation of Dr. Nelton Friedrich, responsible for the program that was awarded by the United Nations in 2015 as the largest global responsibility program in water management.
Entre a erradicação da pobreza e uma educação transformadora, entre a cidade e o campo, isso significa ter a ética presente, a ética do cuidado, que é cuidar, mais do que acumular, do que ter, do que conquistar. E cuidar é, acima de tudo, com a compreensão de que só cuida quem ama.
The agreement signed in Paris at COP21 created good expectations and hope for climate responsibility to be taken on board. It paved the way for COP22 in Marrakesh in 2016 to discuss funding to the regulation of the agreement. By 2016, the world's temperature reached 1.2 degrees Celsius, above the average historical temperature before the start of the first industrial revolution. We have almost reached the 1.5 degrees Celsius target of safe warming, limit that countries have pledged to try to not overtake by the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement on Climate Change signed at COP21 came into force in 2016. Now it's a law in all countries that have ratified it. Every citizen, government, company and civil society organization becomes legally committed and responsible with the task of stabilizing global warming and making efforts to limit it to 1.5 degrees Celsius. However, what happened in Marrakesh? Where do we go in relation to climate responsibilities?
I am Delcio Rodrigues, a physicist and climate analyst. When we arrived in Marrakesh, we are not expecting too much drama. The agenda was planned to discuss the details of the Paris Agreement implementation, and the ratification of the agreement well ahead of the schedule brought a lot of momentum for these discussions. The problem we have was the announcement of the victory of Trump in the US presidential elections. This news dropped down over the meeting like a bomb, and the feelings of people by a couple of days were very unbalanced. But China and other countries have a very strong hold to keep the momentum of the discussion, and then we realize along the discussions that lots of developments in technical developments, scientific developments, economical developments, political developments are keeping us in the track to implement the Paris Agreement and stabilize the climate of the planet. What we need now is to be very involved. We need responsibility of the most important agents in the world in the economic, in the private sector and also the governmental sector, and also in the society, to be fast enough in order to keep the global warming below or as close as possible to 1.5 by 2050. This is an enormous challenge, and we need all the responsibility. We need a lot of involvement. We need all the responsibility possible.
I am Professor Paulo Artacho from the University of São Paulo, a member of the IPCC. And one of the many issues, in addition to the scientific issues we are facing on IPCC, is the issue of the governance and the international responsibility between the different countries in relation to the issue of global climate change. The governance issue is one of the most important topics in climate change, because we need to share responsibilities in between, not only in between developed and underdeveloped countries, but as well as all nations that share the same planet. So this responsibility goes well beyond emission reductions, but it goes around the poverty eradication, goes around a judicial system that can help to solve conflicts caused by climate change. This is absolutely urgent for our society.
We are even facing a huge challenge for humanity. It is urgent to assume all the responsibilities in stabilizing the climate of the planet.